Chapter 22. The Man and Woman Thou Wert Intended to Be. Many omniscient men and women will soon walk the earth. Omniscience and freedom are the goal of all, and in this great age of light many egos are approaching the blessed omniscient state. Man is gradually developing a well-balanced, symmetrical mind, and beyond this he is thinking more of his great Creator and has more faith in his powers. You are part of that great mind that creates and governs all things. There is nothing that can rob you of your birthright. The closer you come in contact with the great power, the more power you will have. Only the ignorant think they are the products of chance. All nature works in accordance with certain laws. There is never any reason for anxiety, fear, or uncertainty as to what will happen. By continually expecting something to happen, you bring on yourself a feeling of uneasiness, which spoils your poise and upsets your equilibrium, which is very fatal to your success. You are part of one great mind and are inseparable from it. The coming man of the higher civilization is going to be so ambushed with thoughts of health, joy, harmony, peace, gladness, that he will have no room for discordant moods, accidents, misfortunes, etc. The coming man will be able to make himself one great magnet for attracting only those things which will increase his prosperity and happiness. He will not be sick, because he will live in harmony with nature's law, and he will be able to change a diseased thought to a healthy one. He will be cheerful, as he will keep in stock only thoughts that will produce happiness. His mind will be closed to anxiety, worry, jealousy, and envy. He will let the others that don't know mourn. He is going to rejoice. He will never think of allowing thoughts of pessimism, wretchedness, or discord to enter his mind, any more than he would think of taking poison. He will be just as careful in choosing his thoughts as he would in selecting company to entertain, if he had a minister visiting. The coming man will know that there is no such word as can't. The man that says can't is a doubter. In the new man there will be no doubts. He will have no fear, which is most people's greatest enemy. He will have developed himself to such proficiency that he will know he will be capable of meeting any situation which may arise. The man of the future will never entertain a poverty thought, but instead will think prosperity, dream prosperity, and will not limit himself. He will attract abundance. The man of the future will only live in an atmosphere of love and joyousness. He will be healthy in soul, mind, and body, because they will be in harmony with each other. To reach the ideal man, it will require the highest aspiration, the greatest effort. The highest state is beautifully expressed in the following. With this awakening and realization, one is brought at once in rapport with the universe. He feels the power and the thrill of life universal. He goes out from his own little garden spot and mingles with the great universe, and the little perplexities, trials, and difficulties of life that today so vex and annoy him fall away of their own accord by reason of their insignificance. The intuitions become keener and even more keen and unerring in their guidance. There comes more and more the power of reading men, so that no harm can come from their source. There comes more and more the power of seeing the future, so that more and more true becomes the old adage that coming events cast their shadows before. Health in time takes the place of disease, for all disease and its consequent suffering is merely the result of the violation of law, whether consciously or unconsciously. There comes a spiritual power which, as it is sent out, is adequate for the healing of others the same as in the days of old. The body becomes less gross and heavy, finer in its texture and form, so that it serves far better and responds more readily to the higher impulse of the soul. Matter itself in time responds to the action of these higher forces, and many things that we are accustomed by reason of our limited vision to call miraculous or supernatural becomes the normal, the natural, the everyday. The new man will have peace, efficiency, and poise. He is going to think good, act good, and be good, because he will know by doing so he will crowd out the bad. The better material he gives his brain to work on, the better his thoughts will be. Never fear evil. Your bad thoughts will do you your greatest harm, so don't let them in. Keep the door always closed to them. There is nothing that can come out of the brain but what went in there. You cannot have good thoughts if you are thinking of bad thoughts. It is your duty to get yourself right, and always do the best you can, and that is what is expected of you. Don't fret yourself about what others are doing. Don't worry about evils you have no control over. The Supreme Being is in charge of everything. He will see that all things work out all right. Conditions can be improved only by the individual unit improving. You are one of the teeny spokes in the huge wheel that is gradually turning to perfection. The coming man will do his part in helping humanity by doing right and acting right. He will look over at the present and the future, as he knows the past is dead. You should join the New Man Brigade and start into what you know you should do and keep it up from now on. He will not go around with a grouch on. He will look pleasant, smile, and speak kindly and cheerfully to everyone he meets. He will never do a mean act, and he will never speak a word that is not true about anyone. And even if it is the truth and it will hurt someone, he will not say it, but remain quiet. If you will only live up to the teachings of this book, you will be far happier and feel much better when you lay your head down on your pillow at night. Your sleep will be refreshing. Once more I repeat, do not entertain worry. Direct your attention away from your worry thoughts and keep it on the good thoughts. You have a big enough responsibility in your own self, and too much if you try to be responsible for others. You cannot help their troubles by worrying about them. By helping yourself first, you can show others how to help themselves. It matters not how hard your life has been. There will be an equal joy for your hardship. There is a joy for every tear you have shed, if you will only try to find it. Life will seem better and sweeter when you wear a pleasant face than if it is sour. Never look down upon anyone because you are not perfect. They are people if you were measured up beside, you would not show to be the best advantage. You are better able to understand how to treat others. If you have been without funds and charity has helped you, you will give to charity because you know what a blessing it is. Every loss, no matter what it is an experience which you can turn to your advantage. When you have recovered from your loss, you know the only real actual loss in life is death or loss of health. The man of the future will not let anyone get the best of him, because he will reserve this for himself. Nothing will keep him down, because he will not be downhearted. He will realize that the hard sledging will be the making of him, that he can do more than he thought he could. He will be greatly helped by understanding the value of charity, justice, smiles, and he will do a great deal to rout his troubles. He will be larger, broader, fair, and more tolerant in every way. By his determination to do better, he becomes more prosperous and happier, while others scold and become duller in every way, and worry themselves into their graves before their time. He will know there is no limit to him, and he should thank the Good Samaritan that put him on the right road, and be grateful that he had the brains and ability to see the right road. My final word. You need only devote 5 minutes a day to meditation to make yourself much better. By devoting 5 minutes at night to absolute solitude, you'll have wonderful opportunities for mental culture, brain building, fortifying yourself for the coming day. I want you to get a habit of every day at some convenient time and think what you have done in the past 24 hours that you are awake. Think carefully of every act that you have done, the acts that you have gone through, the thoughts you have had, the conclusions you arrived at, why you came to those conclusions. Was your solution the right one? By this process you will be calling the mistakes forcibly to your mind, and you will be less liable to do them again. The good things will become a regular habit, and those that are not good for you to do will be just a little harder the next time. In a short while you will avoid them altogether. Study the lives of anyone of any great men of any age, and you will find that he has spent a great deal of his time in solitude, sizing up things and making a mental inventory of what he has been doing and what he wants to do. Thinking of things that have happened makes the brain grow and makes it stronger, and you are able to detect and eliminate the things which harm the brain and make it weaker. Watch for your positive and negative acts, the wiser and foolish things you did. See if it would not have been better not to have done them. Are you progressing or going backward in developing good qualities? If the latter is the case, get a hustle on yourself and develop the former. Practice this sizing up for 2 weeks and notice the improvement. You will be so repaid that you will keep it up. Analyze your problems and decide for yourself and act alone. Don't ask advice of others. It weakens your own powers and makes you less certain. Most people will advise you in a way that they know will please you unless they figure in the results, in which case they will advise you so that they will be benefited. Other people's advice usually is of no value to you. The strong man lets it alone. Studying this book will give you a great deal of help on how to stand on your own feet. You are the one to solve your problems. Keep this idea before you. Everyone is busy with their own affairs. Everyone should be their own advisor, director, and counselor. Let your willpower dominate, and you will be a power and success. Magnetism is a big subject, as you have no doubt realized, and a very important one. It is made up of a lot of small things, and it is not a mysterious power as some would lead you to believe. It is your duty to yourself first of all, and your duty to your loved ones, and to the world to develop this force. There is no greater aim than to want to be invisible and fearless, unconquered and powerful before the world. The real man will not be affected by the winds and clouds and storms that pass by, but he will be a living, breathing model of God's most wonderful masterpiece, man. Friends, before saying goodbye, I wish to impress on your mind that just by reading this work, though you have derived some good, I hope, but not a great deal, But if you will read it over slowly and get a notebook and write down what appeals to your particular needs, and then practice the instructions until it sinks into your subconscious self, you will find you will be greatly benefited. I would advise you only to read one chapter of this book a day, and then think about how much you have read. Write down on paper what you remember. Then reread the chapter and see how much you overlooked. This will sustain your interest and get you in the habit of right thinking. And if you have been very busy all day and have not time to do any reading, take 10 minutes before you go to bed and read a chapter. Think of nothing else but what you are reading. As you lay your head upon your pillow, think of the helpful thoughts you have read. Go to sleep thinking on these thoughts. The next morning, after making your toilet, drink 2 good-sized glasses of water, and then reread the chapter you read the night before. After eating your breakfast, take the duties that require your attention for the day, and be determined that you will have the strength and willpower to overcome the things that you have formerly worried and fretted about. If you will follow what you have read in the preceding pages, you are going to gain personal magnetism from this time on. I know the road to lead you over. All I ask is for your sincerity, patience, and faith until you know the road. I know I can lead you towards the fountain of strength and to the ladder of progress. It matters not how many times you have failed in following other systems. I know you can succeed by following mine. Throughout this work you have been given cold facts boiled down to the essence. I advocate no isms, freak beliefs, or miracles. You can get what you are seeking if you will only put forward the effort. It does you no good to know something if you do not practice it. Study the lessons one by one and practice the rules contained therein patiently, faithfully, and persistently, and you will acquire a full and better life, and you will become more magnetic. Great characters are made possible by seeing man as he is and as he ought to be. End of book.